The Kit Man!
Oh, yeah, lad. That's the crack. It's Kevin Jack, the Kit Man. First episode. How are we keeping? A test episode. And hello from us to you. Yeah, I've changed my name from Spider on this to Kev, so that people can actually know me as Kev.
Just a bog standard Kevin Jack, lads, isn't
bog
it? So...
standard Kev, bearded Kev. That's about it, like, you know. Anyway, lads, how are you keeping? Welcome to the Kit Man. This is just a starting point. This is not, tonight is kind of about Liverpool and Leeds, as it's the only game of the day that's going on. But going forward, there'll be a lot more Premier League involvement in this, but we had to kind of get this up and running and get it going and whatnot, and test out graphics and do whatever. If you're in the chat, say hello.
Give it a wave.
At the moment. Give it away now. All right, Doug. What's going on, man? You all right? How you keeping? Good evening. Anyway, Jack, today we're going to talk a little bit about this Gravenberch situation, this starting 11 for the Liverpool Leeds game tonight.
The pending doom of Liverpool having a game of football, which we're all crapping our pants with. But yeah.
I'm just going by the last game that you played, and in the second half against the Arsenal, we were phenomenal, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I thought so. If we can see more of the same of that tonight, then I'm a little bit more, you know.
We'd love a cheeky 6-0, won't we?
We'd love a cheeky 6-0. You know, Salah hat trick. If you know, Nunes get on the score sheet, Diaz come back and not one home, and you know.
Can we play you every week?
Yeah. Oh, I'd love it, man. And then for Leeds to still survive in the league and they have to go down, that'd be great.
But it's 5D chess either way, Kevin, chat.
Yeah.
Not that we want to be seeing Liverpool lose games, but if we get beat, it means Everton go further down in turmoil and closer to the Championship. So it's a win-win for me and all of us.
I like it.
Fans.
I like the sound. I just look. I'm gonna miss the Merseyside derby for one season, but it'll be just one season. I think they'll bounce back up. I just want them to lose their never been relegated title.
I'd miss me 6 points every season, though. Mate.
I would, yeah. I know we'll take it off Burnley or something. I don't know, but we settle for that. Blackburn come up and they'll be the whipping boys. So next season we'll take it off of them.
Yeah, we'll give them Tyler Morton. I was just thinking, the way Burnley have been playing, they'd probably batter us.
Actually, lads, I take that back. We'll take Luton Town. Thank you.
Yeah. So, like, you've got no Sean Dyche. You've actually got a manager that can play forward-thinking football, actually. But,
they're doing well. Congratulations. We're going to see him next season. And probably the only reason why I picked them out is because they were the only ones that qualified so far. They get to come up in the league. So, I don't know. That playoff and that in that championship is looking tasty, you know, at the moment. Yeah. So
I'm hoping Luton, Kevin, chat, let us know if you've got a team that I'd like to see Luton. And I think I've seen an article this week that supposedly Luton, if they come up, they're going to have to spend about 5 to 10 million, obviously due to the regulations of obviously Premier League teams. Because if you haven't seen it, I don't know if you've seen it, Kev. Their entrance, I think, to one of the stands is literally some fella's back garden or front garden. And it's amazing.
It's through a house. They've always kept it that way because
it's proper.
It was their identity. Yeah, it was their identity. Yeah. So I don't know if they'd have to fix that, but they'd have to upgrade and how you enter it, maybe widen it a small bit. Or I don't know what they're gonna have to do, but
get like a slingshot up and over. Like that'd be fun. Like.
I don't know. It's just, you know, you hate seeing these kind of things going in a stadium, but then you realize, okay, you're walking through 2 houses to get into the stadium. You know, so
some fellas having a dump. Shut the window, will you, love?
Even lads. So I mean, there we go. Brian, how's it going, man? Welcome. Thanks very much for coming over to the Kit Man to say hello. Appreciate it. Everybody's going to see this happening, and they're going to say, like, hang on, what's happening here? You know, people that don't know. That is, I mean, but this one is our baby, you know. This one is ours, and amongst the other lads are going to get involved in it as well. So, Brian said he's going to go for 3-1 win tonight.
Love that.
I want a clean sheet, man. I don't want to be leaking goals. We leaked goals against City and Arsenal, all right, but with mistakes. I want to see no more mistakes, and I want to see. I was liking Trent's role in the second half last week. Hated him in the first half.
Supposedly, off
Yeah.
the back of this interview, supposedly looks like Liverpool will be playing him in the 6. So interesting, mate. He'll be playing that position again.
I take that on, yeah. I mean, he's got the stride for it. He's got the, he's got the pace for it. He's got the physicality for it now. I mean, he used to be a lot lighter where we couldn't really use him in the midfield, but he still had like one piece of a right foot in him. But man, he's after building himself up. He's primed and readied himself to move into the midfield. Me and you've been saying it for the last 2 seasons. Move him up.
Yeah.
We have. And he's better off there. And I think a lot of people have kind of said, "Oh, I wonder what Trent would be like in the midfield." But I was literally adamant, get him out of right back, put a world class right back in there, and move him up there because he did as well as he could. But I think his passion for that position is gone now.
Yeah.
So,
He'll be more switched on more. Like, but I think 3 points, just got to start building confidence, mate. And me and you and Con spoke about yesterday in terms of the results that have gone for a lot of teams and around a win for Leeds. What that would do for them would be probably 10 times, 100 times more than Liverpool currently this season. So that's been Liverpool's issue, as we all know, getting on the pitch. But if a team's going to be outrunning you, outworking you, and it's going to be another test, like it is always. But I think tonight it'll be a massive test for these lads to really put Liverpool's foot down, really. But Leeds battling for survival. And was it Crystal Palace? You look at like obviously potential Bournemouth as well. Leicester have got a couple of winnable games, so it's going to be crunch time really for everyone down there, as we know.
Yeah, I look Leeds. It fell apart against Palace really quickly last week. In that game, and I'm hoping they kind of still have a hangover from that, and that we beat them in this right. And let's say we only beat them by about maybe a couple of goals or something, and then they'll take promise and that move on and then survive the rest of the season. I think they can because I think between the teams that are down there, I think Everton and Leeds probably have the toughest games left for the season. So for me, I think it'll come down to their fixtures really. The worst part for Everton is if Bournemouth get dragged back into that battle fully. The last game of the season is Bournemouth Everton, or Everton Bournemouth. It is a
relegation classical.
So it's nuts. So for me, that's what I'm worried about. Anyway, in other news, Jack, we've had a bit of where are we? We're over here, are we?
Bit of positive news on the transfer front.
I know about positivity, but you get that off your face there, Jack.
I'm stuck.
I knew there was a reason why I was doing it.
I was climbing over it. Oh, it sounds. Let's get over it.
So yeah, and that's usually me. That is, but So apparently Ryan Gravenberch has been featured wearing a Liverpool shirt. I can't tell when it is. Nobody's saying when it is. He looks kind of youngish though. He doesn't have his tash. I can't see if he has his.
That was obviously when we were world champions.
Yeah, that's the world champion. That's when we won the league.
Looks like it's a match-worn jersey as well. When me and you were speaking about it, looks like it's a player-worn given shirt by either probably anticipating Gini Wijnaldum or Virgil van Dijk. But obviously now Liverpool continuing with the Dutch contingent at the football club. I think having the captain of Holland is a massive factor for any Dutch player coming to Liverpool. And obviously Gini speaks very highly of Liverpool as well. And obviously Cody Gakpo coming from PSV Eindhoven. And it looks like he's really settled in well. So long may it continue because not too bad of a country, given all their legendary players they've had over the the history of football, as we know.
Yeah. I mean, having a bunch of South Americans in the team and a few Dutch doesn't hurt us too badly either, So you got some gifted countrymen there. Look, we've seen him at playing in Holland and Ajax, and everybody was kind of touting him really, but he seems to be touting himself, taking pictures and blasting them out there, and that might have been taken a while ago before he moved to Bayern, but he's showing it now again, or it's surfacing again for some reason or another, and because maybe Liverpool need midfielders, and maybe this fella's available, and
It's an absolute bloody steal, mate.
20 million, 25 million.
25 million. In today's market and climate, like Christ, that gets you like a leg of Harry Maguire or something. Like
it's nearly half what we paid. It's just over half what we paid for Ox.
Yeah, so
It's exactly half what we paid for Naby Keita.
yeah,
You know, so yeah, I would take him in a heartbeat. You know, so it's actually let me test this. Are we up here? Oh, that's a bit better. So then I can show a bit of a
I'm
chat
flying.
on here. They're floating. Having Kanata there behind him always allows him a lot more freedom too. Ibu is just a beast. Matip and Gomez don't have the same ability, in my honest opinion. In my opinion, I should say. Trent needs that security. He does.
Definitely.
Having Hendo in front of him as well. I think Hendo is more going to play like the right back than Trent is going
Yeah.
forward. Big up whoever that person was.
Oh,
And
absolute sausage, that fella.
sausage. He would definitely be a Genie replacement. Yeah, I think so as well. But I mean, in saying that, let's say that Gravenberch isn't a starter every week, and we do manage to bring. He's not even going to be classed as a starter in this buy-in process. Maybe he's just a replacement for either Ox or Keita, who aren't regular starters, and then we still bring in the high quality starters. Then all of a sudden you have Gravenberch on a bench with two other starters in the midfield for Liverpool, and that's already leaps and bounds above where we're stuck in at the moment. So absolutely, I would take that at 25 million. If that's like an extra adding buy in there, if we're going for like a McAllister, or if we're going for Lysaid or somebody like that, then yeah, absolutely have him there as a rotational midfielder.
That's the thing. I think if he's not going to be our priority signing in the midfield, but I think if you complement him with, say, two big 60, 40 million, 50 million pound players, then you're absolutely bloody laughing. Obviously.
Spend money, Liverpool. That's what we're saying.
Happy days. Get your wallet out, John, lad.
Just sitting there and we're thinking in our heads, Gravenberch is a good talent and he's a good player. And because he's only 25 million pounds, we're thinking, oh, when is the 60 million pound coming in? And we're gravitating towards that when we shouldn't, because Klopp makes world-class players. He just hasn't had the opportunity because we've bought none. Even an average player. You know, we haven't bought any average midfielders for him to make world-class talent. So that's where we're stuck at. Just buy players. That's it.
Yeah, definitely, miss. And I think everyone's just, as we spoke about last night in my show, we were speaking about Italian midfielders and potentially Barella getting linked with Liverpool. And everyone was just having PTSD in the chat about a certain Aquilani. Remember him. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, mate. And I'm hoping, and everyone goes, oh, he's not really getting into the team at Bayern Munich. But tell you what, Joshua Kimmich and obviously Leon Goretzka. And obviously Lima now looking like he signed his a pre-agreement to join from RB Leipzig to Bayern Munich. He's more of a DM. Obviously, Gravenberch is a more favoured. He can play in the 6, but it's not his favourite position. He's more of a right-sided midfielder in a central midfield role. Can play in the 8, can play in the 10 as well. So but his main position is obviously that 8, but it's that excellence, as you alluded to, Kevin Chat, that ability and the adaptability really in terms of different formations. But at the age of 20, still very young, he can learn a variety of roles if needs be. And what I most want, mate, and Chat, is I want players to come into Liverpool and have the hunger. Because you look at Arsenal this season, the hunger is there. Liverpool's hunger has been there in recent seasons. But I think certain one or two players have got a bit too comfortable. And they need that fresh competition. But competition only happens when you're bringing in the quality caliber players into the football club. And it's looking really quite positive, miss.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doug says there, I shared this video on my community tab, lads. Hopefully grow this channel. See you guys later on after game. No problem, Doug. Cheers, man. Appreciate that. Thanks very much. We're having a look here, as we were saying, is the name on every fans list or Liverpool fans list is Bayern Munich midfielder Ryan Gravenberch, following reports that Jurgen Klopp side is stepping up their interest. Now, this is pretty much the same story throughout it's rehashed stories everywhere. It's target Jude Bellingham. Now, little things that I look into this is that if we're going for top class midfielders and if we're going and looking for world class talent and stuff like that, but also if we're looking for, like, say, let's talk about a Jude Bellingham, but not having the ability to buy anybody else. If you said to me, "Oh, we're going to buy Jude Bellingham and Ryan Gravenberch," or we're going to buy Barella and McAllister, what would you say? This is a tough one. I was just thinking about it myself.
If you had to pick one or two,
No, you'd have to pick two different pairings because if we're going by money wise and what we
yeah,
can afford, and they're saying, okay, we can't afford Jude Bellingham because it won't allow us to have the targets. But if we get Ryan Gravenberch over the line and he's only 25 million and the money's still there for Jude, are you going for Jude and Ryan? Are you going for Barella and McAllister?
it's a bit like poker as well, though, Kev.
It
In
is.
chat,
It is.
so like a poker table, you're not gonna go. I'm gonna show you my hand straight away. You've got to
Yeah.
be a bit deceptive, really, and that's Liverpool, and hence why Jurgen Klopp spoke about this week in terms of being clever. We don't want to be doing what Chelsea have done and
Yeah.
whack £100 million on a. Don't get me wrong, Enzo's probably a very talented midfielder. We know that,
Yeah.
but 100 million, not his value. But if we go with the mindset as a football club, we cry that we haven't got a lot of money, but
Yeah.
in house we go to Brighton and say Saido, say he 170, McAllister 60 million. We go, sounds slap that on the table and we'll negotiate with you. But I think it helps massively from a bargaining point of view for any transfers. Like similar with the Fabinho deal, mate, in chat.
Yeah.
That come out of absolutely nowhere. And I'm hoping at the end of the season, Liverpool announce 3-4 signings, get them in straight away. It helps them in terms of buying properties and everything, and then they can just get their head down and we can, as a football club, focus on what our priorities are in terms of the tactical sense as well. But yeah, if I had to pick a name, you know me, mate, and everyone, if you've seen a bit of me consent, Barella, I think
I know you would. Yeah, I was just thinking because I was saying, is he going to answer? Or is he going to give me?
Yeah, so I go Barella. Yeah, I go Barella. Obviously Ryan Gravenberch, two very different midfielders might that be had. Obviously Barella, 5'8", 5'10", very nimble, good on the ball.
So Barella, McAllister over Gravenberch and Jude.
Yeah, I'd prioritize two central midfielders. For me, it'd be Barella and say a Gravenberch, and then looking at a potential 6.
Yeah.
Or a right back that would be a first team right back, and then you'd be able to facilitate Trent in that midfield role potentially.
Yeah.
So, like, a centre half that is very quick, but is able to play right back if needs be as well. Because you look at City and Arsenal, they play Zinchenko and John Stones in their back line, but then eventually when the game starts, they transition those players into the central midfield role alongside a Rodri or a Thomas Partey anyway.
I mean, that's where it suits Trent down to the ground to be able to be the covering midfielder and that, doesn't it? Like straight away, we've been saying it for ages. Like if we just get a top quality right back, let Trent replace Hendo on that side. If you're Barella in there, then yeah, take him all day and let Trent be the backup coming from right back up. Let Barella go a bit further forward. But there's so many different ways that you can play that team and still allow Trent to be playing a bit further forward what he is, and less worry about defensive issues, especially if you've got a DM where it was Fabinho in his prime where he could just run across any side and protect Robbo and Trent. If you've got another one of them going, then you're not worried about Trent moving forward because you're automatically seeing the dude dropping back into right back or left back to protect the lads. So we got it. But Chad, if you to go with it, who would you choose? Would you choose Ryan Gravenberch? Like, let's say because the money is so low for Ryan Gravenberch, 20-25 million.
We're skinned.
Plus a Jude Bellingham in those two pairing, or would you go like a McAllister and a Barella? So you the choice of two. You can't take like one of each. It's just like a choice of those two pairings. Who would you take?
What is it?
Anyway,
what is it, Kev and chat?
Yeah, of course, it's Rob. Of course. What's happening, Rob?
We get a Barella, we get a Gravenberch, and we get a McAllister, and then last day of transfer window, we go and whack £150 million bid in to Dortmund and just go. And then the club gets liquidated, sadly, because we're in the
I don't know, man. I don't know. So what's the crack? You got here, Brian. Here you go. Oh, who's that? Luke or is it Ricky?
It's Ricky. Definitely.
Oh, it's the eyeballs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Brian Morrissey. Gravenberch, McAllister, and a DM. Add Mount if we can afford it. I'd be happy. That'd be okay, actually.
It's the wages that we're going to save, Kevin Chat. Like, when you analyse the amount of money potentially Liverpool will save, of course, you've got to do the calculations and tie it into transfer fees and that. But even, I know I'm not the biggest fan of Tillemans. But if you brought him in,
As a pivot player.
he's a free
Not
transfer.
a-
Yes,
yeah.
not say that he's going to be the first name on the transfer board, but if you say if he's like your third or fourth choice midfielder, and you bring in one or two of your three main targets, I think that improves, especially when you look at Tillemans. I'm not his biggest fan. I don't think he's got legs, but I think he complements Liverpool's midfield. It gives something that we haven't quite got, and that's a lot more tactical nous, really, and there's experience.
Yeah. Like if Tillemans was at a point a couple of seasons ago where he would have been a starter on the Arsenal team, Spurs team, Liverpool team if he came in, all of this. He's now at a club that's pretty much on its way out of the league in the form that it's in. Just lost the manager. And
just looks like he's lost the spark to me, Kev.
And he's like, and he needs a reboot. And I think picking him up now at the perfect time to be a covering midfielder, probably along with a Gravenberch. Imagine getting Tielemans and Gravenberch for less than 25 million between the two of them, and bringing the two of them in as your backup midfielders, and then still having the money to go and buy two top quality midfielders.
Now that's smart.
That's smart football. So I mean, you can get your McAllister and your Barella in there for less than 100 million. The same night, you do deal with Brighton might trade more, but I mean, if it goes by what's happening in Inter at the moment with Barella and all of that, you could get him cheap at the end of the season easily.
I think we go
43 million, something like that.
Yeah. If we go to Brighton and we're professional, like let's not forget we're Liverpool Football Club, and of course we want to do things the right way. We're not going to do what Arsenal do and start like bidding once or twice. Liverpool, we respect the club, and listening to Jurgen Klopp and all of us, we all love what's happening at Brighton. Sadly, they're above us. But with Liverpool, we approach them and say, right, we're interested in signing one or two of your players. What's your asking price? I have to think if you can create a good working relationship. Liverpool have had this in the past with Southampton. Everyone joked about it, but it's about if you're a Brighton player, if you play well and Liverpool have got a good working relationship with Liverpool Football Club, long term, that could benefit both clubs as well, massively.
Yeah. I think that Brighton are going to look for the money, but I mean, they also like a bit of young talent and stuff. So would there be a chance? Like I would not want to get rid of Bajcetic in any way, shape, or form. But would there be an opportunity for bringing in these midfielders for Bajcetic to go there on loan with certain deals?
I was thinking Carvalho. If you
Carvalho or even a Curtis Jones would be a nice part of the deal. I think Carvalho would thrive at a Brighton in a number 10 role. And would you do him on loan, or would you do him with the option to buy back like you did with Brian? What's his name? Went to Sheffield United.
Brewster, was it?
Brewster. That's it. Ryan Brewster. That's it. And would you do it that way? You know, first option to buy him back and develop him on in Brighton, which is probably the perfect club at the moment to develop any player.
You're spot on there, man. That's the thing. We've got to look for the perfect clubs as well. Liverpool and Brighton play a very similar way. I know it might not be 100% in terms of tactically, but we'd say it's not like he's going to like an old school Burnley, Curtis Jones, where he's going to sit there in midfield and start lobbing balls into midfield. He's actually going to learn, because you look at players when you go to certain football clubs, Kevin, and just they stagnate in terms of developments. But yeah, I'd like that. I'd like nothing more than to see a good working relationship with Brighton, because I tell you what, it's long term for Liverpool. And
we had it with Southampton. Brighton would be perfect team now to take over that mantle, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I bet you like Barcelona, and you could probably look into clubs around Europe as well. A lot of the South American clubs have a good communication with Barcelona, have done, obviously, at a young age. Obviously, Leo Messi coming from Argentina.
Yeah.
Obviously, getting his hormone growth treatment and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just about having good contacts in and around Europe. And if you're getting like the best South American talent going to like say Brighton, or it works. It's a win-win.
And Liverpool's old contacts used to be Crew. You should just send players to Crew all the time and then come back. It's a bit of a step up now for starting to get players from like within the Premier League or just Championship wise. You know, we have a good relationship now with Blackburn at the moment. We're sending players on loan there. We have a good relationship, I think, with is it Hamburg in Germany and also Frankfurt in Germany, something like that. And also like if you got a good relationship going with Brighton, and developing some of our younger players, send them down that way to do damage to other teams in the Premier League. That'd be amazing as well. But like, anyway, what's Rob saying here? Is the story about wanting players trained in England for registration true? Because that means Gravenberch and McAllister would be unlikely. No, it's just that we can still go for these players. We just have to have a certain amount of
English quota.
Yeah, English quota in there. I think that's why we're touting Mason Mount around the place, because I don't think he'd even be looked at if he wasn't if he wasn't English, you know. So
Liverpool probably got a way around it, don't miss. Defo, obviously the young, I've forgotten his bloody name, the young academy goalkeeper. I think he's English, and especially if we are moving on Kelleher. You listen to obviously all the interviews and in-house in Liverpool Football Club. Obviously the young lads that obviously he's been on the bench a couple of times this season. I think he has when Kelleher hasn't been there, but Chat years ago, I think like the third or fourth choice. Not Petaluga, obviously he's on loan at someone in the Championship. Is it Macclesfield? I think he is Petaluga. But it's, and even I don't know what category Bendo would come under. Obviously, he's under the age of 21, so he'd probably still class as a homegrown.
Is there an age? Is there an age cutoff for that? Because I mean, if players are over 25, do they even get counted? We can get. That's what I'm thinking. That's stuff I haven't looked into myself yet. But I know that there's a certain level of player that we're going to need English wise going forward.
I mean, it's 8 chats. Might just let us know. You know, quota.
That'd be alright. It'd stop us having to coach outside, but I suppose it forces development, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it says on the Premier League's website here, the state is on quote. Each Premier League club can submit a list after each transfer window. It can contain no more than 17 players who do not fulfill the homegrown criteria. The remaining of the squad, up to a total of 25, must be homegrown. So we click on what defines a homegrown player. The homegrown player rule is an initiative of the English Premier League to allow more domestic players to be developed from an early age in the hope of nurturing more homegrown talents.
Yeah.
So I think it's anyone below the age of 21. So there we go. Those Premier League pop-ups. That's where the Premier League get all the money. I'm not bothered about FIFA. So it goes on to say, what is a homegrown player? A homegrown player means a player who is irrespective of nationality or age, has been registered with any club affiliated to the Football Association on the Football Association of Wales, or a period continuous or not of 3 entire seasons or 36 months before his 21st birthday.
Okay. So it can be a foreign player that's played in England for 3 years under the age of 21.
So on that, Jude Bellingham would of course come into that criteria.
Yeah.
At the end of the season during which he turns 21.
So you would have probably Sergio Canos would come into that kind of criteria. All of these kind of players would come into that kind of criteria. Players that played under the age of 21 in England. Pretty much anybody who comes through academies and into the reserve teams or first teams, even if they're a foreign national player.
There's definitely ways around it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it mostly forces the hand of having like the majority of people that do play in academies are from that local or country, you know. So yeah, you can see why it's benefiting a bit, but you can still use that.
Scouts is another nationality in itself, innit? So
Brighton be like, show me the money, because Brian's comment was after this. Brighton be like, show me the money. Yeah, I don't know, lads. Anyway, Brian, I get what Jack is saying. With the amount needed, getting one top player on a free would massively help, be it a centre half or midfielder. But we're the kings, really, Brian, aren't we, of getting like top quality free transfers? We used to go back as far as Gary Maka, you know.
Gary Maka,
then we got Paul Ince on a free as well that time.
Probably so many.
We got James
Milner. No, for what everyone thinks of Milner at the time.
Milner's been phenomenal for us. He's been probably our most professional player in the team, Milner, since he's come in. Joel Matip has been probably the best best back or the best centre back that we've ever gotten on a free. Milner's probably the most versatile player we've ever gotten on a
Premier
free.
League winner at the time,
Yeah.
serial European
Yeah.
record holder as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of positives. I know people turn the nose up on it, but as Jürgen says, we've got to be clever in the window. We can't be going, as is the modern day of it, especially on social media. He doesn't cost. He's not costing 100 million. He's rubbish. Doesn't matter like how much his value is, as long as the player and he can get developed at the club and fulfills his potential. That's the main thing, really.
Yeah, I mean today, just to answer Rob's question there. No, this is not mainly a Liverpool channel, Rob. This is going to be more of a Premier League channel. So we're hoping on Thursdays we can get fans of other clubs to come on, and there'll be at least up to 10 of us on the screen. If you haven't noticed or you haven't checked your phones, you can actually update your graphics now, always up to 1080p on the stream as well while you're watching this. So you can see it in the highest possible quality, and we can have up to 10 guests inside. Well, eight guests plus us inside here as well from all different clubs. We're going to do preview shows, probably 2 a week, where it's going to be preview show of maybe 8 from one set of teams, and then 8 from other set of teams is where we're building up to. So it mightn't be 8 in the very first time we do it, but there'll at least be 3 or 4 if we can try and get them in for the show.
So if anyone knows any other rival like channels or like goes in the comments, just give us a shout. I'd like to say, just shout us out, let us know on socials.
Obviously, Tom is the Everton throwaway guest, so you know.
It's the one that we can bear. But it's just all about we're in the early stages of just networking. Me and Kev have been obviously on a lot of podcasts that we've done, and we'd love to get more people integrated. And just chilled. Probably do a couple of shows where we're just cracking open a bevy, chatting about football, and that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah, it's sitting around the table, just pointing out what we see of each other's clubs and what we need, and other points of view from other people from other fan bases and what they see from outside. Because we're all going to have our red tinted or blue tinted or light blue tinted or white tinted glasses on sometimes, and sometimes you need an outside perspective, but the non-biased kind is what we're trying to base it around. Smart football talking, think tanks, or try saying that when you're Irish, and Jack's on mute again, and
think tanks. Say it again, Kev.
That's Boolabus. It's Jack's first time being on mute on this channel.
There we go.
But anyway, there'll be a schedule, but definitely aiming for every Thursday if we can. That'll be perfect because it's leading up into the week's football in case there's a game on the Friday, early kickoff on the Saturday. We want to avoid. We want to be able to do our own channels as well on the Friday night where we get people in pre to the games. But if we've got this show up ready to go on the Thursday, where everybody comes in and they have early viewing in the week and post viewing from the previous week. So I think Tuesdays and Thursdays would be perfect for a post show and a pre-show. So even on a Monday, I say would be a post show would be lovely as well. But we'll see. Daz, how's it going? We're going to get to that in a minute, Daz, and we're going to get you all to vote in the chat who goes into what position. I'm going to go when we're doing it in a second. I think with me and Jack, we're going to go what we'd like to see and what we think it's going to be. So it's going to be 2 different lineups, so we'll click them in and click them out as we're going. And you can decide amongst yourselves who you'd like to see and who we think Klopp is going to go with. All right. Okay, Brian. We really need to link up with a club in South America too. Not a fan of multi-team model though. What's your guys' opinion on that? I think we kind of alluded to that while ago. It's nice to have him in the back pocket, and then
definitely.
And then just be able to feed, because too many times we're stuck spending 40 to 50 million for players that we could have picked up for 5 to 6 million, while other clubs like Brighton and all of these clubs are picking up players there for pennies. Really,
I think it was International. So when we had Luis Suarez, I think Liverpool tried to do a very thing there. Hence why I think it was the team that we bought Sebastian Coates from. And big up Sebastian. Remember him for that bloody QPR overhead kick. Legendary. He's playing well in Portugal. It's great to actually see that a lot of players obviously leave Liverpool and don't really have a big up in the career. But
Moreno did well at Villarreal when he left.
Get out, Man United. Get out.
Get out.
We need to put like a little meme section on the air.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So
But yeah, like, it was
have
international, but
really won.
definitely
Nice.
River Plate is another thing. I know City signed Alvarez, and it wouldn't surprise me if City have literally got all the bloody hands all over River Plate.
But that's
Pro-
the thing. There's always this fund there available from these clubs to kind of put into the club, whereas Liverpool don't want to set this fund aside because not only they're buying this player, but they're probably feeding them extra money or feeding them into the like paying for stuff in their academies, doing this and that, and and
That's how you
just
keep them sweet, though, mate. Like,
yeah, it is. But I mean, Liverpool just they don't do that model, and when they see Liverpool coming, they're like, oh my god, more money, just bring them in, and then Liverpool won't do that. They're just like, no, we'll just buy the player. How much is he? And if they say no, that's stupid money. See you later. And that's the way Liverpool are. Stupid, really, because we should be having our fingers in them. But there you go. Andrew Quinn.
big up
Sorry,
on it. All right. Well.
I say Jack. Sorry.
Oh wait, what was I going to say? I think the work permits. There we go.
Mm.
There we go. That's probably going to be a biggest issue for of any obviously anyone coming into the Premier League, obviously with Brexit and that, which is mad. But in itself, but I think that's going to be the biggest issue in the next couple of years, next 5-10 years, in terms of just figuring how, because it was that young lad that we signed, Alan De Silva, obviously the central midfielder that we signed, and I think we loaned him out for felt like forever. He was one of the hottest talents in Brazilian football, and I think I was checking. I think he was playing a couple of months ago. I think he's still playing, but now he's like 29, 30, I think he is, Alan. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully that won't be an issue, really, the way
Oh, you could just be City and just say that Alvarez is from Ipswich originally, you know?
Haaland's from Leeds, technically.
Yeah. Haaland's from Leeds. Yeah, you know, so there you go. But anyway, Andrew Quinn, how's it going, buddy? Hello, lads. Gravenberch would be amazing signing 20-year-old under Klopp. He would be the Genie replacement we've been looking for. A lot of lads have been saying the same thing there, Jack. I think that I think he is a perfect replacement for Genie with his physicality and his height, and probably a bit quicker than Genie as well. But if he can learn anything from and if he can think, but if he can play and think like Genie did, which is not get too involved, but just watch that space, and that's what Genie was good at. Then I think we're laughing that way. Celebrity Squares, I love it. Pretty much, yeah. It's going to be Celebrity Squares, yeah. Pretty much, think of it that way. Some random fella says, make sure you drop a sub chat, put the notifications on. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bell notification on.
This fella's always in the chat, man. He's always talking, you know.
Biggest fan.
That's it. All right, so Rob, I was going, sweet. I wasn't too clear. I just seen the post on Jack's feed. I look forward to what the future holds for the channel. Thanks very much, Rob. Appreciate it. It's good to see you back, lad. It's been a while. And so lads, this is a Premier League channel. We're going to have as many. I know we're kind of talking. There's a Liverpool game tonight. It's the only game we can talk about today. We could talk about. We've already kind of alluded on the other channels this weekend what we thought of the rest of the games. But no, the Premier League shows are going to be on this, and then we're going to focus on mostly just Liverpool content over on Anfield Road TV and Spider LFC. And it's all going to be Liverpool content there. And I'm jumping on Jack's channel. I'll be doing watch alongs on my own channel. I'll be on myself and Spider LFC tonight doing a watch along. Jack, are you doing a watch along, Jack?
Yeah. Depends. I might switch it off if we get beat. I'd have to.
Jack said 6-0 earlier. Lads, don't believe him with that. He's positive. He's positive behind the screens behind the scenes in the green room. Don't worry about that.
Or do Gary? Gary, I don't think Gary's in chat yet, but he'll turn up.
No.
Gary, the legend that is Gary. We love you, lad. He usually goes with a big score, and I'd agree with Gary. We'd love a 60.
Niall Kane. How's it going? Hi, lads. Just subscribe. Thanks, Niall. Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate that. Brian Morrissey. 5 years he was on loan, I think.
Yeah. That's
nuts.
Ridiculous.
Jamie.
Big up,
Good evening. What's happening, man? Gary? How you keeping, lad? So yeah, just to kind of explain, this is our Premier League channel now. This is the Kit Men. This is where all the banter is. Me and Jack are going to be doing a lot of shows, talking to people about proper football things, acting like adults within the football realm. And then there'll be other people involved. I'll be doing sketches in the back. So there's still going to be sketches on this show. There's going to be everything on this show. And then we'll be acting like kids in that one. So some of the stuff that you've seen there, there's going to be a lot of involvement in this channel. I realize we're hoping to make a lot of friends that are going to be appearing regularly on it. And it's going to be run pretty much by me and Jack. So
everyone's welcome, mate. So
yeah, everybody. Yeah, you know, so yeah, even United fans. Big up Spider and Jack.
There you go, Henry.
That's happening. Hi, chat. Hi, Henry, to Brian. And Oh, that's everybody saying hello to each other. Hello, chat.
Hello,
Oh, thanks,
hello. Big up, lad.
Jamie Phillips Football Chat is subscribed. That's the job. Jamie, we'll get you on as well, man. As much as we can. It's just going to be with other. We're going to get on as many other fans as we can from other clubs, mainly because we always jump onto each other's show. I mean, I've been on Jamie's show. Jamie's never been on mine because I mostly do watch-alongs on my channel, and Jack's always hosting, daily shows and stuff like that. So, so we'll do that, and it'd be nice for me to actually have a show that Jamie can jump on, if you know what I mean. So that'd be good.
Just all about networking, innit?
Networking, man. Networking, plug in and go. I wonder what happened to your stream, Kev. Was sitting on it. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no. I started it and it automatically went to Spider, so I had to cancel that and just bring it to the Kitman.
Don't get me started on me starting streams, chat.
And don't worry, lads. The moderators that me and Jack have on our channels, we will put them on this channel. Jack, I don't know if you're able to do it there, but it's but the lads that are moderators on that channel because that we trust will also be on this channel. All right, so don't worry about that. Everyone's doing okay today. Hello. We got everybody saying hello to each other.
Hello.
Ant is a great Leicester fan, Brian says.
Yeah, we'll get on some defo.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I haven't had the pleasure really of. I've only seen him. I've only watched him. I haven't really been on with him. So yeah, that should be good. And yeah, so we're going to start networking now. So I'm going to start messaging a few people that I know and some channels that I see online and say, lads, you'd like to come over and chat on the Premier League shows, stuff like that, get it going. And I'll say it to another couple of people that I know as well to try and get them on, which would be great. So I've already been messaging Grizz and poaching off him to see if he knows any good fan channels that'll pop on from the other side. Because I've got a lot of friends over here that are Irish guys. But but the majority of them don't travel go to games as much, obviously, because they're based in Ireland as the lads over. So we'd like to get a full-on feeling of the locale of players, obviously, or of fans, really.
And it's just on like everything as well. Like obviously, given some people that haven't got like as big as the audiences as well. Just
absolutely
getting people's channels out there really, if we can, as much as we can, and just giving people the platform. And just even if you don't.
Great.
It's what it's all about. Just everyone helping out each other. That's the way we all know that's how everyone grows, really. So I'm looking forward to it, mate. It'd be good to actually step away some weeks and just speak about like Premier League, European football as well. So
yeah, that'd be good. I mean, it'd be great to get. I have a few Munich friends now, which is great. So I can get a couple of Bayern Munich people on the channel, which is awesome. And from my quest down under. But,
just don't mention Sadio Mane.
I won't mention that. Whatever's going on down there. Feeling rough, but okay. Thanks, Mark. What's going on there? We got a hangover, buddy.
I think you might have still. You were mentioning to me, Mark, weren't you? You got COVID, so look after yourself, mate. Anyway. So yeah, keep yourself.
All right, yes. So Jack said there. He says, "Oh, I think he might have studs." And I said, "What's the hell is studs?" And it popped into my head, STDs. Jesus, man. I was like, "What are you saying that for, Jack? What are you doing, man? What are you doing?" That's
good.
Give Jack your or give Mark your well wishes. Just stay well back.
Those days are beyond me now, lad.
Oh god, yeah. Ant is the only Leicester fan.
Now
that guy that looks like Jamie Vardy. What's his name? He looks exactly like Jamie Vardy. What was his name?
I've been on podcasts with him. He's absolutely lovely fella.
Yeah, lovely fellow. I was just trying to think of his name.
We just call him Jamie Vardy. He's an absolute legend. Dave knows him. I've been on a couple of podcasts with him and Dave, so he's spot on.
Yeah. Des Reynolds, you should get Sophia's football chat. She's a United fan also. She goes on Rod's channel on a Saturday. Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll have a look into that. Yeah. But lads, anybody you know that wants to come on this show, message them and say, lads, you should get yourselves on the Kitmen, have a chat. They're doing weekly shows if you want to get in with a good bunch of lads and have weekly previews and weekly roundups of all the Premier League's action. We'd like regular guests to come on, especially positive regular guests. And then we can kind of sift through who's available and who can suit the channel and vice versa, and who suits what we do and we suit what they do. So that'd be great. All right. So anyway, are we doing a co-op watch along? We'd love to do a co-op watch along, only for it's the delay in what we're watching, isn't it?
I'll have me aerial outside and be hanging out my window.
Yeah, so Jack will be on. I don't know if he can pause his live. Lee Chappie, Brian says there. I seen a pop up. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, Lee. And I thought that was
Yeah,
his last one.
we could defo sort something, yeah, miss.
Yeah. There's some good lads out there that we'd like to get on the channel. We've obviously got Tom for the Everton stuff. We'd like to get one more Everton person. If we had 2 per club, it'd be kind of great to bring them on and have a natter through their differences of opinions and stuff like that, so we can go through with them ourselves. Obviously get Dave and Connor. Oh yeah.
Yeah, get the usual.
But it's the thing. The most of the thing that we're trying to do, lads, especially with the kitmen, is we can do Liverpool preview shows on this as an all-round with a bigger kind of guest load because of the quality of this channel and because of what we can do with it. But then most of the Liverpool content is going to stay around Spider LFC and Anfield Road TV.
Yeah, he wants to really like differentiate it, really.
Yeah, we kind of want to keep it separate, which would be great. But we can do a roundup Liverpool panel on the kitmen and class it as a Liverpool only show. We can do a kitmen channel where it's it's an Everton show previewing the relegation battle. We can do these kind of shows and kind of bring it in there,
and even if and defo as well, Kev, if someone like a guest like that wants to host a show and they get confidence in terms of presenting, and we can just be in the background, just pressing all the buttons, and then let them just free really and just do their thing.
Everton Rose, as is bringing the.
Oh yeah, Everton Rose. Yeah, she's lovely. I think I worked with her in the past as well. So yeah, Luke and Ricky know her well, but she's really lovely as well.
We'll message them and we'll get on to them and see if they want to pop on the show. We probably do on this Thursday, Jack, for a preview show for next weekend. So I'd say between now and Thursday we'll contact a few heads, and if we can get
who are we against? I should really know.
Nottingham Forest is next week.
Forest. Yeah.
So we can do we can try to get a Forest fan on if we can locate one.
I've only just seen Brian's comment there.
What's that?
I despise that channel, Brian. Like not the channel, the program. Look what he's bought. Hang on, can I click on that? Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Jack can do a Love Island review.
Oh yeah.
That makes me so angry. That TV.
I don't like it either. I can't stand it.
But sorry if anyone watches it and they enjoy it.
Guys, melt your heads if you watch that TV show.
Yeah, I'm disappointed if you watch that chat. So
it's literally like watching. It's like watching a load of monkeys walking around using tools for the first time. There's zero brain activity going on.
A lot of testosterone.
A lot of makeup and a lot of testosterone taken, but just no brain cell whatsoever. Like not even a little bit.
The biggest muscles. It really angers me. Such not an accurate representation of just life in general. Yeah. People don't look that good looking. Obviously, you've got your 10 out of 10s. Lovely.
I think I watched a few seasons of Geordie Shore back in the day because I just found the Newcastle accent funny.
It's just mad.
But in comparison to Chelsea, was that Chelsea one, is it? And all of these, they were really polished, posh kind of stupid. Whereas the Geordie Shore ones were just funny, stupid. If you get me, and that was the only reason why I kind of tolerated it for a little bit. But no, I can't watch any of this.
Geordie's a sounds. We love them boys, especially when.
I don't know. Like they need to make a Liverpool one. I'd watch that all day because that'd be funny as well. I think I'd find the Geordie one and the Liverpoolian one fairly funny. But anything else, I just wouldn't be able to handle whatsoever. Like, not even a little bit. So yeah.
It's recording me on a meltdown of watching the Reds.
So where are we? Jack, I'm skipping down ahead there. Oh yeah, he does. Who's oh yeah, he does. Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, no, he does.
Yeah, but I would definitely get Leon. He's free.
I think we're doing a Mark's one, is it? Yeah, he does. Yeah. So how many streams are you expecting for your channels? As
in terms of this one, as I said there, Mark, me and Kev will be doing our own content really on our channels. We'll be swapping vice versa, and we'll be going on other people's channels if they need us as well. But this would be mainly we're aiming to try and be as consistent, say, as Kev alluded to, 2 shows a week on this channel. 2
shows a week would be great to do the thing. And if we can manage to get some sort of watch along thing going, we'll multi-stream it. This channel, Spider channel, Jack's channel, and we'll get them going on all 3 fronts and just see who gets into one and watch.
Especially European watch-alongs, we could defo do that. I'll just pause it, and obviously we'll have that rule, like it is always the case. If anyone bloody spoils it for people, we'll just obviously, if they're not new to the channel,
Yeah.
we'll say like everyone does, we'll say it at the beginning, but the mods will do the job.
I have to pretty much do it every week, Jack, because you're okay, because you're probably on tandem with the lads that are watching. But me, because I'm behind, based in Ireland, it's if I'm watching the European games, it's normally an RTE player here in Ireland. So if I watch that,
I think you're
really on
usually
time with
ahead.
you.
Yeah, you're
No,
usually
I'm
ahead.
behind. No, I'm behind you
Okay.
normally. Yeah, so I have to get some of the lads to kind of come in behind me. I think only D that pops onto the channel, who's based in Australia, is about a minute behind me. So, but he kind of I kind of slow it down a bit for everybody at the start, so that like I'm like a minute behind, 2 minutes behind the kickoff, and then everybody's like on par. Nobody's buffering, nobody's having issues, and we're good. So, which is great.
When I usually go to my aunties, got a couple of aunties that live in Anfield anyway, and like the ones that sat over the years, be sat there, and you can listen, you hear a massive roll, and it's literally it's still delayed, and it's like mad, but it's
Oh yeah, there's like a good 30-40 seconds from what you're seeing on the pitch in real time, you know, to what you see on your TV, like easily. So anyway, Brian just coming up with a gem here. Do you remember telephone? Yeah. So this was like our version of like Geordie Shore, or no, actually it wasn't that, because it was 2002, so it's before it. It was a version of, what was that one in Jersey Shore?
Oh,
that was the old one. That one. So it was like our version of that before in Ireland, and it was just horrific. You know, Irish people trying to tan themselves up and act pompous and self-loving. It just doesn't go down well. It doesn't go down well on Irish TV, because we just kind of look at it and go like that.
Because everyone in Ireland's got a personality.
In saying that, there's a lot of people that are on the age of 25 now, man. I'm questioning a lot, but you know, they're watching the wrong thing. I see some people, and I heard somebody talking about the Kardashians the other day, and about another 5 lads that looked like me just kind of went and looked at them like this, and I was just kind of said, "Are you doing that?" And they kind of looked around and said, "And I went, what do we say?" And I just kind of. Never mind. I just walk and it looks. Hopefully, the looks embarrass them enough to realize that what they're talking about is a load of bull. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mark says he's behind me all the time. I hear it from Jack, then Kev, then I see it on stream. Okay, all right. So that's okay. But even my one is a fair bit behind. But if I can, if I can find a way, I'll do it now tonight. Where if I can find a way where I can pause it and people can tell me what they're at, I have no problem pausing it and watching it from that time, because I want everybody to be kind of on par. I'd like to be at least about 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds ahead of my chat, so that when I stream, they see it at the same time as they're about to cheer. So that'd be great, you know.
And we all switch up our notifications. That's all we need to do. Turn your phone around so you don't know, and switch your notifications off, and then you'll have them there.
Yeah. So definitely. Anyway, lads, we're going to go to the starting 11, Jack, for tonight. Yeah. What we hope would be, and then what we think it's going to be, is the way we're going to do it.
Anyway, as we go.
Yeah, I think so. What way we're going to do this one? Actually, let me hide this one in. We're going to go this way. No, I think we'll do the top one here, Jack, because there's going to be chats coming in at the bottom down here. Yeah, right. So, and I'd want to block Jack's beautiful face. All right. So, all right. So we got the kit man starting 11. And things. So we're going to start with the goalkeeper, obviously. So, if we can, I think it's easily explained. I don't think anybody's going to choose anybody else different than Alison Becker.
Yeah,
it would be great. If he could stay fit for the rest of the season, we're laughing. Right back.
Gomez.
You're going to go Gomez. All right. I'm
thinking formation-wise.
Yeah.
Do
you think he would be tempted to start Trent tonight in midfield?
I think so. Because what you do, and what I've noticed City and Chelsea, City and Arsenal do, they play. Yes, you sacrifice and Robbo.
Yeah.
But you put Trent either right back or left back, and obviously play with 3 centre halves.
Yeah.
And then transition either whoever's playing on either flank, your left back or your right back. Put them into the midfield.
5-man. Yeah. Turn them into a 5-man back, then 5-man midfielders. We're going forward. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, 3-5-2 seems like an ideal formation. It's just it doesn't suit Klopp's pressing style, does it? And that's the problem. He needs to adapt as well and learn to use the 3-5-2. This team is tailor made for 3-5-2 or 4-2-3-1. And
we just got to start playing something, mate. Like
Yeah.
we've got to
Yeah.
learn it really. I mean, the only way you get used to it and get Trent used to that
Yeah.
midfield position is, yes, the results might be a bit messy come what the end of the next 10 weeks, 8 weeks. But if we're just trying to do something different going into next year, I think it's. But I don't know. Would you say Trent there playing right back? Then we'll go with.
I don't. That's why I'm asking chat who would we like, and then kind
Yeah.
of take a vote off of that and make that our 11, and then we'll kind of go who we think it is then at the end. So who you will go with? So lads, our chat will be saying so right back. Is it Trent or Gomez?
Yeah, Brian's going with Trent right back.
Trent, okay.
Interesting. Obviously, big up there, Easy. Thank you very much for jumping over, mate. It's time for Darwin to start up front now. Very much agree, mate. Ali, say, chat, get your players. We'll do right back at the minute. Do you really think Klopp will use Trent as a midfielder? I think he will eventually, Mark. Especially seems to be the formation. Look at the way Barcelona have played currently. The formation Barca play at the minute is mad, but it works. Look at Arsenal and Manchester City. But yeah, we'll go with Brian's comments anyway. So we'll go with Trent right back.
Okay.
By the looks of it.
Yes. Yes, we're going Trent right back. So obviously we got Ibu for me, Ibu for you.
Yeah. Ibu Virgil, I'd say, yeah. Just
What is it? So I have to go Ibrahima. There we are. Okay, so we have to do it. Okay. Nice. This one's a bit 9. Virgil, I suppose.
Virgil.
Okay, so got Virgil here. Left back, obviously Andy. And Drew is going to go Andrew Robertson.
Like Royce left back.
It's just a tech one. So do we think that Hendo is going to be the midfielder to protect Trent? Doing the
I'd say chat. Yeah, Hendo.
What do you think, chat?
Okay.
You got Henderson.
Hendo.
Fabinho.
Yeah, Fabinho.
Two Fabinhos. Yes. And
I think Thiago, if he's fit, playing when he's fit. Not many times he's fit, so
yeah. If he's this is what lads, we're going with what we want to start and not who we think is going to start, right? So we're going to go this way. Now, actually, in saying that, you know, if Thiago's not fit and ready to go, I'm going to change this for a second instead of being the one that we think he's going to go with and the one we want. So I'm going to take that out. And who I'd want in these positions right now, myself, until Thiago's fit.
Yeah.
I would want
Luis
Diaz.
That's what I'm most excited for, Kevin chat. Let's see, and that fella back in the starting 11.
This would be my ideal at the moment, starting 11.
Oh.
That's a dangerous starting 11, chat, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus. The pace between Diaz and Nunes, obviously both South Americans anyway. So
that's what I'm looking at here is this triangle, right? I think this triangle can drag out. I can move it to where? So I would have him kind of here, and I would have so Hendo's going to kind of hang out around here, and they're probably going to have it's probably going to look like that a little bit because you're going to have Trent moving out this way in here in the midfield, tracking down. So you're probably going to have, if the two lads are doubling up here, they're not allowing the fella past them. Because Trent is going to stay in man side of him all the time. Or sorry, Henderson is going to stay in man side or goal side of him all the time. Whereas Trent is going to keep drifting from here into here. Like easy. And it looks weird, chat. It really does, but that's the way we were playing against Arsenal. And we had Henderson coming back here covering all the time.
And even Fabinho dropping into that.
It was dropping out here. That's what we do. And we had Virgil midfield. And it was almost like that. It was almost like we did 3-man back line of the lads like this, you know, and Fabinho was dropping back in here.
That's why I think Robinson's been struggling in the last couple of weeks. He's not a centre half. He's being asked to play centre half, really.
But ideally, have Fabinho just sitting here. I would have Henderson lifting off here, and I would allow Trent to kind of keep running in here or up that side. But Salah needs to stay away from here and stay exactly where he is here. If he stays exactly where he is here, he's a danger to any team on the planet. I think Nunes likes to drift a bit left. I think Luis Diaz likes to come out this way
Just
and
give
drift
him
back.
whole license down
I
that
think
left
I
hand
think
side. Yes.
I think Gakpo playing here free. This is what I'm talking about. You're going to have that kind of build up on that side. This is where Trent is going to start drifting into, or between him and Henderson when there's space, and then you're going to have Gakpo playing triangles with the lads here. This completely frees Mo Salah because it brings across their defenders. They're so worried about these guys over here that it frees up Mo Salah to get in there and score in the box at multiple times. And if it falls back, you're going to have Trent or Henderson running onto it to strike, and you'll have Fabinho pushed up at this stage so they can't get out. Kanate will push up on that attacking winger and that attacking midfielder if he's here in this position, and that's where you're trapping people. So
It's just about overloading pockets of space there,
Yeah,
mate. And just
it really is.
if we can overload certain, that's what you look at City and Arsenal over last year, especially last 12 months anyway. They just overload the spaces, and that's what Liverpool done when we had more capable athletic when Hendo could actually run a lot. Obviously Fabinho when he had a bit more of an engine. But it is going to be interesting because it's high risk but high rewards. And as you said there, Fabinho, if he needs to drop in, he's very capable of playing centre half. So obviously, and that's what we've watched Liverpool over the last 5 years. Centre half split. If Fabinho comes into that pocket of space, and then that just allows, hopefully, Robbo, because we haven't seen the Andy Robbo, but we know how good he can be.
Yeah.
He's just not really. I think his game's been massively sacrificed for a lot, similar with Trent. They're obviously, given how exposed currently we have been over the last year or so. But it's looking positive. But I think once we get those midfielders in, Kev and Chat, we'll be laughing. Ones that can actually do both box to box defensive work, but also going forward as well.
But you can see the way that the space, the way that it's set up has allowed all of that space for Trent and Salah to really be the guys that are going to be putting the finished product in the box and in the back of the net, because so you want that. Okay, so if I
we'll just rattle through all these comments here, Kev. Mark's gone with Hendo, Elliott, Firmino, I'm guessing, Mark. So you're probably playing Firmino with in that 10 role. It's probably a bit too attacking, that, Mark, but interesting selection from yours, mate. I can't see Diaz starting, but stranger things have happened. Yeah, I think Klopp quoted as saying he's 100% fit. So if he's 100% fit, then play him, really. Yeah, Brian, with the attacking positions, he was taken up in the second half against Arsenal. Obviously, speaking about big up there, easy about Trent. He's looked unreal. Trent is Kevin De Bruyne levels in that area of the pitch.
He's outstanding. His passing was phenomenal. His interception play, because he was high up the pitch and not having to worry about over his shoulder, was brilliant. His eye for a pass was spot on as well. So
boys, obviously I say no, that's it. Kev, that's the
3-2-5 in attack. There you go. And that's the way we can change it from the back. So that's what I'm saying, because Fabinho can drop in there. Robertson tucks in a small, but when he needs to. If we're on the attack, Robertson's gone forward with Trent. Fabinho's tucked back in and steps up when he needs. He puts a bit of pressure on, but the minute it looks like the possession is gone, Fabinho drops back into that back three. Kanate moves out. Van Dijk moves out. So we can easily, transition into a 3-2-5 and attack 3-5-2 when the attack is transitioning, and back into almost even a 5, even a 5-3-1-1, that kind of way. As we're on defense. So
even 4-4-2. Keep on getting any comments in, Chas. Keep on getting them in. But yeah, as Bryce said there, we go to a 4-4-2 defensive phases, definitely. Completely understands why Mount and McAllister are wanted as two behind the front three in that formation. Back to the kind of diamond we played. I miss a diamond, Kev. Do you?
Yeah, I miss it since Coutinho. You need a Carvalho and a Coutinho to play a proper diamond, really. You need that kind of ilk player. And we don't have one of those. We have, we have, his name is Carvalho, obviously, but we don't play like that. Klopp doesn't play like that. It's too narrow for him. It doesn't allow us to press, and it has the attacking midfielder too far away from the defensive midfielder for his type of player. I miss it, but yeah. But
yeah, there we go. For some. Yeah, he'll be getting a new deal there, Mark. Fully anticipate him. I think me and Kev spoke about it last night. Well, the night before, anyway. I think we all know. I think if Mount was to come to Liverpool, he'd absolutely destroy Liverpool's wage bracket. Obviously, we know Salah. We crossed our fingers and we crossed everything really to say. And that's probably potentially, Kev, as we spoke already, I think all of us, that's probably one of the reasons why Liverpool are disappointed, because you've got certain individuals in Liverpool's team looking at Salah going, I really need that. They won their performances. You're looking at a Van Dijk signing a new deal in the next 2 years. Obviously, Alisson's, Trent's contract's ending. And
what's Mount on a week? Do we know?
He's about 200 at the minute, but it's London rates. Look, like any club like Arsenal and Chelsea, like the rates go up. But I think it's looking like potentially Gravenberch looking like he might be signing a 300k a week deal at Chelsea.
If he stays, let him at it. I don't want to pay 300k a week for any Mason. No, not even a little bit. Do I want to pay 300k a week for Mason Mount? If he was coming across now, maybe I don't know if that's. Did he re-sign a deal? I need to.
He hasn't re-signed it yet, but if you listen to obviously the journals,
I'd have to look that up on my phone if I change that screen. So wait, if we look at Mason Mount weekly.
Yeah, we'll just read out comments there. Jug, only 3 Liverpool players have been nominated for the team this season. And not surprised there, Doug. I don't think any of us are really, in all honesty, fully deserve to be nominated. I think Alisson probably will be the only Liverpool player that potentially gets in the Premier League team in the season. I know a lot of people might mention Ramsdale and obviously the clean sheets, but when you analyse the performances, I think Alisson Becker's been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. Because if it wasn't for Ali, Liverpool would literally be scrapping it out with the Ev. How poor we've been. Everyone's reporting different things on Mount moments. Yeah, the Armors.
It's saying that Mason Mount is only on 76,000 up to 90k a week.
Oh, there's no way he's on that cheap.
Yeah, the same bonuses. This is 4 different websites I'm looking at here now. Wait. He rejected a £200,000 a week contract to stay at Chelsea. So they want to overpay him to keep him, but he's not actually on that. When was that? That was in November 2022.
That's surprising. I suppose he's still young, and he's probably still on. Apologies there, chat. Then actually, he's still technically, when he signed that deal at Chelsea, he was still quite a young player anyway. Currently, he's still. But
150k a week for Mason Mount is very similar to what Ox is on. And if you replaced him with Ox, with a player that doesn't get injured, I would take that. And a free transfer, So is he free transfer? Is he? Yeah.
I think the end of his contract.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I mean, that's no brainer. I mean, that's the money you would have put in for a fee would have been 40. You paid 40 million for Ox, was on 150 or 160 a week.
I think he's got a year left, so I think it's similar with Ox. We'd
have to pay the money. Yeah,
you'd have to pay an upfront fee, but
less there. So so exactly the same amount for Ox for him, and the weekly wage is probably I mean, Ox has been sitting on the bench getting that wage for the last I don't know how many years now. So I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose. But I suppose
he's a dangerous player. I think Mason Mount under Jurgen Klopp is a completely different player than Mason Mount at Chelsea. Look how good he was in their Champions League winning season. And look, like everybody was fearful when he was playing in his right position, which was higher on that left hand side in the midfield, and kind of where I've been saying that Gakpo should be playing right now. But if he is to come in and do it, I would take him if he was available at a cheaper price. I wouldn't pay 70 million for him. No. Young player, but I wouldn't pay 70 million for him. I'd probably start at 40 in add-ons.
Yeah. Big up chat. There's 11 of you in here, which is fantastic. Yeah. If you are new around here, everyone, make sure you do smash that subscribe button, put your bell notification on as well. If you haven't already done so, make sure you do drop a like, smash that like button. I think we're close to 20 likes, which is fantastic, everyone. So
that's great. Thanks.
If you can do that, actually helps out with all the algorithm stuff and that. But yeah, let's quickly rattle through these. Here's a mental stats. Since this Champions League final, Liverpool haven't scored a goal away from home versus the current bottom 10. That needs to change tonight. Great stat, that's all does here. But probably, in all honesty, doesn't really surprise us. No, Mark, Kev, I don't know if I mentioned that. Like, from a business strategic point of view, that's an absolute car crash waiting to happen. If Liverpool allowed, say, £100 million worth of player to run down his contracts,
I know
it'd be
if his farm goes at next season, then I would get rid of him at the end of next season. You know, if he's still the same next season from what he is. No, in saying that, Salah still he got 20 something goals and he's still scoring around. And if we get that in from elsewhere as well on the pitch, then I don't care. You know, Salah mightn't be back to his best, but if he's still scoring 20 plus goals a season, I would rather have somebody in there instead of doing 30 odd goals a season, I would rather have somebody at 25 goals a season than somebody untested and untried and then having to replace Mo Salah's legacy. So it's a hard one, you know. I mean, Salah looks after himself. He doesn't do anything bad. He's fairly fit. He's just tired, lads. He's as tired as everybody else. You really, when we're talking about anybody this season of how poorly they've played, or we know the midfield needed boosting or whatever, but even lads up front or defense or whatever like that, just go look what they've done for the last 2 seasons. Go look at the injuries that Virgil van Dijk has had. Go look at every competition that we were involved in last season. Go look at the intensity that we played over the last 3-4 years, and go look at the break between last season and this season at the start, and then having African nations qualifications into World Cups and stuff like that. It's just been a mental 2 years for these players. They are whatever about mental fatigue. They've probably been rebooting themselves 10 times over. Their bodies just can't do it. I would say have a look at them throughout this summer. See what we can get at the end of the season. Have a look what they start doing at early next season, with the bonuses of extra players on top of them. I don't want to leave that go to chance, but have a look at what way they play next season. If they're fighting for the place, if they're really up for it, and if they are, then well and good. They're back to the norm. We won't be talking. This will be forgotten about, this conversation, by the time it comes to next season, or we could be talking about the end of next season, getting rid of probably our biggest asset and making the most money.
Yeah, especially if we don't get European football chat as much as it'd be disappointing. But as Kev's alluded to there, I think massively, you look at Salah and Mane statistically, analysing the amount of minutes, like even Andy Robbo, all those qualifying games with Scotland, going to the World Cup or whatever. Were they at the World Cup? Well, they've been. So they've had their experience. So yeah, I think when you look at it, Mane and Salah, I don't think they've literally probably had like 2 weeks, probably at best, rest between the space of like 4 or 5 years, because you alluded to there, Kev, African Cup of Nations qualifiers as well. But yeah, it'd allow the players to really just go, bloody hell, we've got a little bit of a rest. Of course, it's disappointing. I think Ibu come out this weekend speaking about obviously the disappointing off the back of this season. But he speaks like a bloody mature player, or that he is young age, just saying that, of course, we'll be disappointed and we'll learn from it this year, and it'll just make it, and Ibu just said, it'll make us hungry even more going into next year. And that's what it's all about, especially if you did miss out on Europe. Do you want to be back into Champions League finals and everything? So
yeah. If it allude down to here's what's his name is done. I'm on the wrong page there. There we go. Remember Salah, his contract, 10 goals and 11 assists last season. Is that what he had last? Who's that? Who had that last season? Yeah, that's nuts as well, Brian. That's a lot of league games, man. I mean, you got a lot of people that get rest when they get little ankle injuries and stuff like that, but he's played, that's his average. I mean, that's just an average. That's not even like that he has played. That's average. So more mental fatigue watching him this season. It is Mark on top of physical. I think they both go in tandem. I think some people could have physical fatigue based on coming back from an injury. I mean, Virg should have had that, but his own personal mentality allowed him to come back a lot quicker and stronger. But then the actual team fatigue is set in there as well, and they just, as much as they want to look at each other, all like, "Oh, can you help me here?" And then the next person's going, "Oh, can you help me here? Can you do that?" So they're pointing at each other to do kind of the extra bits for each other, but it's just not there, and that's what was going on. But after the Arsenal game, second half of the last game against United previous, we know it's in there and we know that they can do it, but now they have to go and do it against the teams that have been pretty much showing them up this season, which is Leeds already at Anfield, Forest away, but which is the next 2 games up. These games have to be beaten. So the Mane rumors are silly. Yeah, I think Hendo's done this season. I think Hendo needs a good summer off. I think he needs to rest, relax, recoup, and I think he's benefit. he's a benefit to this team.
It's mad how knackered he was, and I think he said himself in the articles, and and just like the World Cup's finished him, like, which was mad, but it just goes to show how much that meant for him. He tried his best. You only have to look at that bloody England performance, but Hendo was literally running around as much as he can and put so much effort in. But it's not like Hendo should have really, for me, done what Milner done years ago, retired from international football. But it hasn't helped Hendo's performances currently, because hence he's not got the best knees or ankles.
I don't know how Hendo keeps playing for England. I know he loves his country and all that, but I don't know how you do that when you make somebody like Harry Kane a captain.
Yeah.
And over Hendo, when everybody was crying out for Hendo to be captain, was just because of the status of Harry Kane having won feck all at Spurs, having won feck all individually the whole time that he's been there, and having this aura about him. I get it, he scores goals for Spurs, but it wins them nothing. At the end of the day, he's a golden boy player for a team that wins absolutely nothing and is in the mud at the moment, and yet he gets captaincy over an actual Liverpool captain who's pretty much won every trophy at this stage. And when he handed that to him, for me, I would have turned around and just said, what is this fella? What's this manager thinking? What's this board thinking? It's everybody listens to Hendo. So when he's on the pitch, they all look to him. You can see him in the England squad. Whereas Harry Kane's up front going, and that's what you're getting over Harry Kane. Take the ball, Harry Kane. And that's what you're getting up front, like, I don't mean to take the piss out of the dude, but if I had him trying to talk,
it just doesn't really
inspire. What?
It's not even that, mate. It just doesn't really inspire me.
It doesn't.
All of us, you'd want to be looking at a captain that really is, as you alluded to, the trophy hole. Obviously, you look at Henderson. Look what he done with the NHS and everything. He is basically the captain's captain, as we all know, in the Premier League, and how important he has been. So, yeah.
If you're the captains of all the team in the Premier League, you're surely your England's captain if you're in the squad. It just makes no sense. Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me, internally, the players for England do look probably to Henderson as their captain
maybe
in the dressing room as well.
Yeah, maybe they turn around and say, look, Harry, you got the armband, but we listen to Henderson. Maybe he doesn't understand in there.
Big up their wigs. Yeah, big up their wigs. Massive thank you for jumping over to the channel, mate. Obviously we spoke at the top of the show. Just me and Kev, we're going to be getting a lot more Premier League based. This channel's going to be wigs, but massive thank you for jumping over, mate. More Premier League content. Obviously, me and Kev got our own channels. We'll be to and from anyway, both of our platforms, but this will be mainly solely. I know we're speaking about Liverpool today, but it's because we're playing tonight. But there'll be a lot more Premier League content with a lot more guests as well, which will be really good. So I'm looking forward to that. Good thing, could just definitely see him. His face go Poch back, move Mane.
Yeah,
definitely. Mane still got his value, and Kev. I think it was.
Oh yeah.
It was easy mentioning Newcastle. I can 100% see Mane going to Newcastle.
Oh yeah. Like if you got the money they're spending there, Mane could go to Newcastle. Harry Kane could go to Newcastle. At this stage, easily, or even a son could go to Newcastle. One of those two would end up in Newcastle, I think, at the end of this season. I think with the money that's coming in for them, I think with the backing that they're getting, I think with the progress they're making, I can see them poaching some of the best players. At least, if not the best player on each team, they're going to poach the second best player on each team out of it, if you know what I mean, out of the teams that are below, like your Liverpools and your Cities and stuff like that. And they might even poach. Would City sell to them now, knowing that they're a rival money-wise? Not a rival as in football, but as a rival money-wise. I don't know, but there's a lot. Newcastle are going to make some strides, I think, in the summer.
Oh yeah,
maybe not as much as Nottingham Forest did in the in the winter. They sell the whole team and then just brought a brand new 2 teams or something like that.
Surprised didn't Simon Nan play it.
Yeah, strange one. Yeah,
but big up there, Wiggs. Well in, lads. Jota to get back into the scoring tonight. Hopefully, Wiggs, and as we said, mate, all of us. He's probably frustrated the most. Is it like now 33 games where he hasn't scored? For him, that's ridiculous, because we know how, obviously, over the last couple of months since he's been playing for Liverpool, that record, he was in such inspired form, but Yeah, fingers crossed, mate.
Anfield Talk. Doug threw up a comment there about Anfield Talk throwing out the team, elite
The
team.
team.
We'll put that in there just in case.
Go on. So is it Ali? Yeah, we've got Trent, Canate, Van Dijk, Robinson, more or less what we've got. Fabinho, Henderson, Curtis Jones for Gakpo.
Jones, we'll put that in there for Jones.
Jones, supposedly. Curtis.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Okay.
Jones, Jota on the left, Gakpo through the middle, and Salah on the right.
Okay, so Jota on the left. I can't see him. Is he on the left? I think
that's the thing with those two. Jota and Gakpo can play both positions, so it doesn't really make a difference.
All of them can. Gakpo and Salah. So if that's the starting level, what we're going to do by the time we're finished, we'll be finishing this stream on the news of the team news coming out, which will be 7 minutes time, and we'll finish up the stream on that. Once the news comes out, we'll do that. Then we can head over to our prospective channels. You can come on and you can watch me and Jack at the same time, streaming, and we can have conversations back and forth. I'll open up the chat and we can be talking back and forth in there until we're able to do co-op streams on StreamYard together via here. It'd be great. But yeah, I know. But we will see how the team news comes out. What?
Do you want to try and see if we can do a co-op stream tonight on here? Because
You think so?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah, I can do.
Yeah, we'll do that. Chats. So if you get no, well, that's if you don't mind. If you want to,
I don't mind. I have no problem. I'm just saying I have the graphics done. The other one, I can just put your camera into mine if you want, and we can just do it even in higher quality, 4K. And bang.
Yeah, I'll jump. I'll because I haven't set my. Yeah.
We'll
do that then. Yeah, definitely.
You haven't set your stream up?
No.
Okay.
I've literally haven't had time, so. I probably will do a post-match chat, so apologies.
Okay, yeah, so because we're on the Dugout Football channel at 10 to 10 straight after the game, and then we'll do one straight after that on Jack's channel. I won't be doing a post-match because that's all down to Jack's kind of thing. So if I've already got all the graphics and stuff set up on my channel, so if I do that, I can drag Jack's camera in and we can co-share together. I can make ourselves just a bit smaller, and then we can just stream it out to the Kitmen, or we can do it straight to the Kitmen, really, can't we? Instead of just doing it to the other channel, we might as well just we make it a Kitmen night, and do it that way, and then we do post match and.
I need to get a bloody long HDMI chat, so obviously my telly's behind me, but I need to connect it to it because of it. It's a bit random, but I got new carpet and done a bit of painting in the house, which was actually good. Good to actually get the paintbrush out.
That's why his eyes are glassed over. That's shining. Fumes. Jack is sitting there. Streams. Lads. What was it looking at?
Saying,
that was the starting 11.
So we've had a little look. Obviously, bad looks for chats, movements, but as I say, chat, we all know. Don't always believe everything you see on Twitter. Because we've had so many bloody meltdowns already this season where we've all thought at Alisson, like people have been saying Ali's not in the starting 11. And you're like, what are you chatting, mate? But yeah, it will be interesting. So how would you foresee that potentially, chat, as we've already alluded to, with the three-back formation that we've seen? So you'd anticipate Canate, Van Dijk, Robinson as your centre-halves. So obviously, poor Fabinho in that 6 there, Kev.
Yeah, so I'm sitting him as moving him across because I'm just looking at what they're doing when they're going forward to what they're doing coming back. So I'm playing away. So these guys will step up obviously to create to block the gaps here, and Trent will just fly here.
I'm made up. Curtis is getting a lot more opportunities now, mate.
He's played well in the few games.
Yeah, I wish this was a lot more earlier in the season because I think all of us are sick to death of really seeing Naby and Ox coming on and not really doing anything. I think they've packed the bags already. Like Naby, every single time he's come on over the last couple of months, just can't be asked for him, really, in all honesty.
Done. Yeah, he was done for me. Yeah.
So, I'd much rather Curtis. Whatever, everyone obviously got a lot of different opinions, really, but at the end of the day, Curtis still only 22 years old. Yes, he's got to develop and he's got to improve massively, but there's no better opportunity than playing a Premier League game away from home in a big environment that is Leeds.
Yeah. Okay. It's. I think they've put him in there just because of his quickness on the turn on the ball. He's pretty quick on the ball. He's not a fast player, but he's pretty quick when he's the ball at his feet. So I'm thinking maybe he's looking for a bit of control to turn back. I want the Curtis Jones that was playing pretty good the last couple of weeks. I will always pinpoint when he holds onto the ball too long. I just gravitate towards that instantly when I'm just like, Curtis, pass it now. No. Curtis, pass it now. And then I'm end up will you pass it? So and I'm like, it's after taking me that long to say pass it that you're not even doing it on the pitch. And that's my problem is just his inability to pass the ball quicker. So,
I've been warned by Mark. Here, Kev. There we go. It worked well, but it's because I'm Mark. You know me. I've done over 1,200 odd shows on YouTube. So I hate the sound of my voice, but I'd much rather Kev, but speak over me anyway, which is sound. So probably translates a bit more easy as well when an Irishman speaking instead of Scouse. I'm
just thinking in the background when he's chatting away and doing what he's doing. I'm just there and I can see something else popping up, and I'm just mechanically just kind of working away in the background is what I'm doing. So no, look, lads, this is what the channel's all about. You know, it's having good bounce off, how it works well. In hindsight, I'm always working on stats in my head, and Jack is always working with chat. So you know. We both develop our own game as we're going along in here. And
there you go, you read out these comments.
What's that? Haha. I've been the same, Jack. Painting the parents' living room and ripping out their kitchen, etc. Been grafting for like 2 weeks, shattered.
It's hard work, isn't it, mate? Like you think it's the coats, Joe, when you're painting, you having to go over and over again. It is hard work. Like it is. It's not say it's a dying art because there's always going to be painters and decorators, but yeah, it's absolute legends. Like, I wish I'd actually done that in college and got like a proper job instead of me doing media. Like, it's amazing. Like, people obviously that decorate and all that. But yeah, definitely.
Wig sounds like you're having a good time. Yeah, that's what he said. All right, so I think Curtis has played okay. He still isn't offering enough on the attack from me. Yeah, and the end product needs work. Carvalho must be leaving in the summer. The lad's non-existent. Yeah, very true. Mark. I wouldn't say it's been a good time, to be honest. Yeah. Jones not the best offensive player, but he's exactly the same as Elliott for me. Yeah. Not as defensive as a player, just good in pivot attacking roles, and that's about it.
I was going to say, Wiggs, hope you got paid as well. No, you're the parents, but just give it a probably repaid your Instagram, lad. So it's all good.
Right, so we've done that. So we're getting ready for this here now. I'm going to have a look
on Twitter.
On Twitter. Is it Twitter, mate?
Should be already out.
Yeah, I think so. 7 o'clock, right? We'll have a look at that and share what we can. Liverpool.
Yeah, Wig said there. It's the doors and the frames. Yeah, you've got to take the door off and then reattach the door because you don't want to be painting around it. And yeah, painting white over that was like.
We have news. So I mean,
hopefully you got it sorted, mate. Anyway,
so we do it this one. Oh, wrong one. There we go. I'm looking at the wrong channel. Oh yeah, because it's over the wrong. It'd be handy.
Got that many bloody monitors.
There you go. So many monitors. Anyway, so I'm looking at my bed. Oh, here we are. I was on the wrong channel. That's what I was doing. There, yeah.
Sorry, there, Kev. That does my head in that this team news has been leaked. I know we're only playing Leeds, but whoever keeps on leaking the team news on social media or whatever, it needs to absolutely swerve it. Because if we're going for league titles or something, like, just stop. Like, from a tactical sense, this plays into Leeds' hands as well. You've got, like, the team news, like, an hour or two before kickoff.
Yeah.
But just amazing. So,
yeah, it was Anfield Edition or something is the one that leaked it. The lad said in chat there a while ago. So, yeah, after doing that. Why is Nunes not starting? I don't get it. How is Jota getting starts who hasn't scored a goal and has barely any involvement and is not as dangerous getting starts over Nunes? Is Nunes carrying something that Klopp can only play him for those 20 minutes at a time? That's the only reason behind it, I can think.
Really. There's surely a reason behind it, really. Whether Liverpool are playing, would you say, Kev or Chaz? Liverpool are potentially trying to put Jota back in the shop window to see, like, oh, he's a Liverpool first teamer. Potentially get a bit
That's the
more in
only
terms
reason
of
why
his
I can see
value.
it.
That's the way I look at it. But
Or maybe get Jota be in competition for Nunez. I don't know, but like for me, if we're going for it, we're trying to go to those Champions League spaces and stay on par with like because Klopp obviously is looking right now, and as I said on your stream, Jack, the other day, last night, and the lads, we should be looking at where Aston Villa are right now and going par for par, tandem with them, point for point. Because if we do go point for point and beat them, then it's going to come down to the point where we're 3 points ahead of them with a goal difference. And they've already then beaten Newcastle, and they'll have beaten United at that stage as well, and then got a result against Spurs for us. So, and I think they have Brighton. I'm not too sure, but if they do, we're hoping to go point for point with Aston Villa, then catch them second last game of the season, beat them, then go on and beat Southampton, and hopefully take that fourth spot. So it is very, very possible, but it's down to us. It's down to us to win and put pressure on the teams above us. Newcastle are starting to look a bit tired and leggy. Spurs are just.
we've got to be there to capitalise, Kev.
Yeah.
Like, especially if the wheels fall off for Newcastle,
Yeah.
we need to be there.
We have to be the team that's there pushing. I mean, if Brighton are there, well and good, and they're pushing, that's brilliant. If Aston Villa are there, that's brilliant. But we need to push on Aston Villa really to look for, because I mean, I'm thinking that there's still draws and losses in Brighton, no matter how good they are. They have been brilliant, but I'm still thinking it's there. And if we can go tandem with Villa, who are going to be on the up, and they'll be on the up until maybe the last 2 or 3 games, and then we'll come across them, and they'll be just below their peak so far this season, because they'll be saved. They'll be probably in European places. If they're going for 4th spot, they'll come at us, which will be stupid because we'll counter-attack them. And instead of like shutting up shop, because I think teams that shut up shop against us and block off Salah's routes and stuff like that are teams that get the most benefit out of us. I mean, Leeds, we should have more joy with, because they refuse to sit back. So this is where I'm thinking. And they'll be at home.
They were in utter shambles. I went last year, mate.
Yeah.
Like, it was a 6-0 on Anfield, wiped the floor with them. And their manager don't really rate. I don't even know how he actually got that job. But we'll just let through all these comments as well. I've got to get me scram before we are live.
Yeah,
so,
same. I'm just saying, I've got tacos waiting for me out there as well. So we're going to set this up. Look, I'm going to we lose something for the live watch along. I'll get on my channel. The only thing I have to do is add Jack's camera if he wants to come in and go on the watch along with me, and I can just bang that down in the corner where the normal formation is. So I'll be live at, I'd say, Jack will be more likely 20 to 8 at this stage instead of 7:30, because we're gone like an hour and a half into the show already for the first show, which has been great, lads. Thanks for stopping by and letting us know. And we'll see you over there. I'll see if I can get it to the kit. If I can get it to the Kitman channel, I will. If not, then me and Jack will do something about getting it on board of our channels. You'll see anyway. You'll either see Jack popping up on his channel and me popping up on mine, or we'll see it popping
I'll be sharing it, whatever. We'll have our usual, as we said, post-match shows anyway, on both channels. I'll be getting Kev on mine. We'll be on Doug's as well. But we're out for all these last comments. Mate, I got a few bacon sarnies and 20 quid for the Chinese. Happy days there, Wiggs, isn't it? Happy days. There we go. As I say, and just talking about random jobs in terms of doing the painting, but potentially Wiggs, as I said, probably the big news. And as I was saying, pointing to the Kev there, Nunez is trending on Twitter, so that's what we're all chatting about, Liverpool fans. I think I just seen something, one of the group chats, with the lads. Supposedly, Klopp said it's about managing minutes with Darwin. So, big up there, Wiggs. Have a quality time, mate. Most importantly, the Reds need to win tonight. But look after yourself, lad. Sorted. Stock here for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, therefore, mate. See you later, lads. But yeah, I'll play the outro, Kev.
Yeah, the outro is the same as the intro. It's barely anything so far, but it's a good bit of crack. But lads, look, thanks for coming by.
We had a lot of subscribers as well today, which is great. So.
Oh, that's excellent. Thanks very much, lads. We appreciate that. We're the Kitmen. You're going to see us from more Premier League shows. I know it's Liverpool based at the start. We might as well get, you can throw your score predictions in as I'm doing this as well, lads, at the same time. What are you saying, Jack?
Oh, Firmino, that's got to be positive.
So,
Firmino.
yeah. I'm thinking I was kind of going along the same lines as well. I'm saying if we get an early goal and nick it in there, I'll stay away from you and I'll go 4 for the crack.
Yeah, he is.
And
And
I think Diaz is on the bench there, so I think we're going to start seeing him tonight. To be honest with you, which would be great to bring on. I think he'll be a nightmare.
Lucho.
Anyway, lads, I'm Kev. That's Jack. We're the Kitmen. We'll have many more people involved in this going forward. This is a Premier League based channel, not just a Liverpool based channel, but we're starting to we're tending to be starting it on a Liverpool based show. So it's Leeds v Liverpool tonight. You'll catch us. I think everybody that's in here follows my channel, Jack's channel, and the Kitmen anyway. So it'll be on either the Kitmen or Spider and Jack's. I'll see what way I can work it in a minute. Yeah, it's more likely be on Spider. I'll see what the setup that they have because I'm going to Facebook as well. But Jack will be involved in that, so we can watch it together. And I'll pause just to kind of stay on the same level as him. Lads, we are the Kitmen, Jack and Kev, and I'll talk to you later. Look,
The Kit Man.